Hello everyone. This video is for explaining how to do a project based on class 12 informatic practices. So we will use Python as the front end and MySQL as the back end. Why we are using MySQL as the back end? MySQL, that's an open source software and that's freely available. So that's why we are depending on MySQL. So here some of the main portions that we need to import within our or we need to include within our project. So basic things that we need to combine within our project sections is Pandas section based on Pandas series or data frames that we need to club there. Then data visualization. From data visualization we need to combine line chart or bar chart or any type of graph representations that we need to provide there. So that's a basic concept that we need to club. Along with that, dictionary list, that particular concepts also that we need to use within our project. So which are the main libraries or modules that we need to use within our project that we are going to discuss as the first step. So the first one is Pandas module. For the data frame section, we need Pandas, and for the connectivity section, for connecting between the Python and MySQL, we need two libraries. The first one is SQLALCHEMY and the second one is PYMYSQL. So these are the two modules or libraries that we need for using the connectivity or for implementing the connectivity. We need this particular SQLALCHEMY and PYMYSQL. So that's the first thing that you need to remember. Then the next one is MATPLOTLIB.pyplot. That's the package and module that we are using here for providing the data visualization. So these are the main import statements that we used for accessing certain inbuilt libraries. And then on the next step, we are providing the connection string. So con equal to sq.create_engine. Sq, that's the object that we provide for SQLALCHEMY. That's an alias name. So that alias name that we are using here, sq.create_engine. We are creating a connection between MySQL and Python. So here we are passing the connection string. The connection string contains, the first section is the driver information, that means the MySQL, that's the software that we are using, that we will pass as an information, plus PyMySQL, that's a driver. So this section that we will provide as the first step. Then root, let's see MySQL default username and the password within the MySQL that's provided there. GTP1, that's the password that I assigned within my system, so that's provided there. Then @localhost, localhost means within the same system we are saving the data, that's why we are providing localhost. Then we are using the database name. So when you are providing this particular coding, you need to remember one thing. As a first step, you need to create a database with the name, with your name. This one is I provided within my system. So instead of this one, you can create a database with your name within your system. And after that, we can use it. So here, I'm providing a menu-driven program like we required for our project. So as the next step, we are providing str1 equal to admin. That's a string variable with the value admin. Then do you have permission to generate user ID and password? So for entering to our project, we need to provide a username and password. So for that, if the privilege is permitting, then only we need to enter to that particular process. So here we are counter checking whether the person has the permission to enter the user ID and password there. So if we provide yes, we will enter to the next section. For entering, we need to, for creating a new user, we need to enter a password there. Only the admin level section need to generate the password. So that's why we are providing like this. So we need to provide a password there. Then if the entered passcode, this is the variable name that we provide for declaring or for accepting the password. So if the passcode is admin, then they will create a login table and then within that we are if not exists. What is the purpose of if not exists? If that particular login table is not existing, then only they will create the login table within the MySQL, and which contains the fields name and password. That's the two fields that we are creating. Do you want to insert values to table? That's another input function that we are using, and if the user insert yes, definitely we will get the permission to enter the username and password for the new user. So like that we are creating the username. If the person is an administrative level power, then that particular person has the right to create a new user ID and password. So that's we done by using this particular coding. Then we are printing that dictionary, and then we are creating the data frame, and we are printing the data frame, and then we are writing that particular data frame content to SQL, to MySQL by using df1 dot. So within the df1 we already inserted a username and password, and that we are writing to the SQL or MySQL by using df1 dot to SQL. Then this one is a table that we created here. This one is a table that we already created, so we are specifying the table name here. Then the connection CON indicates this connection string. So to MySQL by using this username and password within our system, within the database, we are providing the connection to that particular database. We are providing the connection, and then we are providing index equal to false as the next argument. What is index equal to false? Whenever we are creating data frame, they will automatically generate an index there. So when you are writing the same content within the MySQL, we don't require to write a particular index that's generated automatically. So we are providing index equal to false. So that content that will be written without providing the index that's generated automatically. Then if underscore exists equal to append. If underscore exists equal to append means if the table is already there, they will append the data. They are not going to replace or they are not going to erase anything. We are just appending the data there. That means if the user generates 3 username and password there, the entire content that will be saved there. And after that, after this particular process, this one is an endless loop, and after generating that section, we will break from the loop. So like this, we can generate the username and password. So after that, after generating the username and password, we will automatically exit from this particular loop, and then we are entering to another loop for providing the login process for the user. This one is the administrative level section, and this one is for the user. So while true means that's an endless loop, then we are providing df out equal to pd dot read underscore SQL. So here we are getting the data from the table login, and we will maintain the data within the df out variable. Df out, that's a data frame variable. So we are maintaining the data within the data frame variable df out. And what's the next step? We are entering the username and password. If a particular user wants to enter to the program, definitely he need to enter the username and password there. So that will be accepted within the x and y variable, and we are going to counter check whether the user is valid or not by using df out of name double equal to x. If the name that's entered, that particular data contains x variable, if the name is valid, then that data that we are accepting within the subdf variable. Then we are providing another process there. If y in subdf dot values. So y, what is y? That's a password that we entered there. So username that we entered here, and we counter check, and that particular row of data, that particular username and password that will be retrieved within the subdf variable. And then we are counter checking if y in subdf dot values. Values means whatever we retrieved within the subdf, if y is there within that particular data frame variable, definitely the if condition will return true there, or that particular process will y in the data frame dot values will return true. So we will enter to valid user section. This means the body of the section that we will enter, and then again another loop while of 1. That's also an endless loop. Then enter 1 for insert, enter 2 for search, update, delete. For displaying the graph, we are providing 5th option, and for exiting, we are providing 6th option. So like this, we are providing a menu here, and we will get that particular menu within the display process, and then enter your choice. If the user insert 1 there, we need to provide the insertion process, and if the user enter 2, the searching process. If the user enter 3, updation process, and if the user insert 4, delete. Then 5, we will display the content within a graph, and then if the user enter 6, the program will be terminated. So that's the logic that we are going to use here within this coding. So we accepted the value within the ch variable. Then if the user insert 1, which process? Insert process that we need to do there. So here, if the table is not already generated, we need to create a table. So if of chw equal to 1, we are going to create a table if that's not existing with the name student1, and it will contain the fields roll number of integer type, then s name with the varchar type, then date of birth, then GUID, then marks. So these are the data that we are providing within the variable. So these are the main data that we are inserting there. And then what's the next step? We need to accept values to a dictionary. So we create the table within the MySQL. So that will be done by using this particular step. So if the student1 table is not created yet, system will automatically generate the student1 table there with these particular fields. Then we are accepting values to that particular columns. As the first step, we will accept the values within the dictionary, and from the dictionary we will create the data frame and we will insert the value to the table. So by this process, up to this process, we will complete that particular section. So we enter the roll number by using int of input of function, then we accept the name of the student, then date of birth, then GUID, then marks, enter data that we accepted of based on a specific student. And then what's the next step? Print of dict1. So we are printing that particular student detail, whatever we entered there. Then what's the next step? What's the next step? Next step, we will create a data frame from this dictionary that we passed it to here. So from that we are creating a data frame, and then we are setting pd.set options within off bracket display.max underscore rows. If you provide a large content there within the table, when we are displaying the data within the data frame, definitely certain data based on rows and columns that will be provided as dots. So that will be avoided by using this statement, pd.set underscore options within double quotes display.max underscore rows, then none, then display.max underscore columns, then none. So like that we are setting the restriction within the data frame. So whenever we are providing the normal displaying process, if you are providing a large number of data there with more than 10 columns or something like that, if you are providing a large number of columns and a large number of rows, if you are providing, definitely the entire data will not be displayed there. They will provide dot there. So for avoiding that, we are providing this particular coding, pd.set underscore options display.max underscore rows, the entire rows that we are going to display there, and the entire columns also that we are setting there. Then we are printing the data. Then df1.toSQL. So we are writing this particular data to the table student1 by using the connection string. We will do that, and then here also we are not inserting the index, and we are appending the data to the student1 table. So when you are inserting a 50 student detail, definitely we need to add one after another. So definitely we don't require to erase the existing data. So that will be done by using if underscore exist equal to append. So they will add the content within the ending. And you insert a new student detail, definitely that will be added within the ending of the existing table. So that will be done by using this particular coding section. And then we are moving to the elif section. If the user insert 2 as the option for searching process, if the user provide, definitely we will provide the value for searching. We will enter the name of the student that we need to search, that will be entered there. And then we are providing select start from student 1 where sname equal to mstr, that's the variable that we used for accepting the name to be searched, and that we passed it to here. So f means that's a formatted string process that we are doing. That's the easiest way for passing a variable to a string type data. So here this one is a string that we are passing to the SQL section. So that's a query that we are passing as a string. And so what will happen? That data that will be passed to the MySQL, and we will retrieve the data from the MySQL, and that will be stored within the dfout variable. So when we are executing select start from student 1 where sname equal to a specific name, if you provide that, what will happen? That student detail that will be retrieved. So that data that we will maintain within the dfout variable, and then we are printing the data here. Then if the user insert update, we need to change the data within the existing table. So that we will do by using the concept like enter roll number to be updated. So we will provide the roll number to update, and then the new name, we can change the name. So here you can see select start from student 1. We are accepting the entire data from the table, from the existing table, and that we maintain within the data frame dfout, and then dfout.loc of dfout within square bracket roll number double equal to x. So here we are executing dfout.roll number. So that particular entire column that will be retrieved there. Just assume that you already inserted 10 student details. That 10 roll numbers that will be accepted there, and we will counter check whether the searched roll number is existing within the column. Whether the searched roll number is existing within the column, that we will counter check. And if it's there, we will provide that particular data here, and then we will retrieve the S name based on that. So the roll number means that data that we will accept there, and then we are counter checking whether it's the search value is there or not, and then we are providing the S name. So S name means the name that we need to update, that we will provide there, that particular field name that we are providing there. S name, that's a field name that we are providing for the updation process. So this column that we are going to update with the new value. So Y enter new name. Within the Y variable, we already accepted the new name that we need to update there. So that will be changed within the data frame. So within the data frame dfout.loc, within the specific location, the roll number, and then within the column S name, we will change the value by using the Y variable. Within the Y variable, we already accepted the new name. So that will be updated within the data frame. So the entire data is within the dfout, and based on the roll number, we will update the content within the S name field. That will be done by using dfout.loc of dfout within square bracket roll number double equal to x. If that particular content is matching, then we will update S name. So like that, we will change the data within the data frame. So the entire content is there, and from that, the specific data that will be updated. And then after that, we are again writing the entire content within the table by using this particular statement. So here you need to remember one thing, dfout.to_SQL. Here we are using to_SQL for writing the data to the table. So student 1, that's a table name, then the connection string that we are linking here, then index that we are not writing, so we set it as index equal to false, then if_exist equal to replace. So in the previous section we provide append, but here we change the data within the specific column. So definitely we need to replace the entire table. We need to replace the entire table by using if_exist equal to replace. So this one is one of the mechanism that we can use for updation process, or otherwise we can depend on this particular statement con.execute. Con, that's the connection string, con.execute of update student 1. set sname equal to, we can set the variable here, then where roll number equal to, we can set the roll number here. So like this we can directly pass the statement there. So that's also possible without using this much of coding. We can directly do it like this also. So that's also possible. By using the connection string we can directly update it, or otherwise we can use the data frame concept there. So it's better to depend on the data frame concept. The reason is the board specified to use the data frame concept, and on certain situations you can use this one also for certain locations, for doing certain things easily. We can use this particular coding also, that's also permitted. So on certain locations just try to use this particular type of coding. We will accept the value within the data frame and we will replace the entire table by using replace statement within the if_exists attribute, or otherwise we can use this symbol statement. Then we are providing LE for CHW equal to 4. If the user enter 4, which process that we are going to do there? We will delete the data. So here we are going to delete the data by using delete from student1 where roll number equal to X. So we provide a roll number to delete, and that we will do by using con.execute.delete from student1 where roll number equal to X. So like that we can delete it. Then displaying the data after deletion, we will provide the select star from student query within the read underscore SQL function, and we will retrieve the data within the data frame and then we will print it. And if the user provide 5 as the option, we need to display the content within the bar graph. So the simplest way to display the data within the bar graph is this one. So we will select the required fields from the table. So here you can see only the sname and marks field that I extracted here, and then we provide the print statement for printing the data that we retrieved, and then we are creating the bar chart, and then plt.show means we will show that particular graph by using plt.show. And if the user provide 6, we need to exit from the process. So we are providing break. So this particular inner loop session that will be break, and we will definitely jump to the outer session. And do you want to exit now, yes or no? So they are asking for the confirmation whether we require to exit or not. So if you provide yes, what will happen? Enter confirmation, we are entering yes or no here. So if we provide yes, again break, otherwise we will continue the process. So by using the jump statements break and continue, we will control the loop session. So the outer loop and the inner loop, that will be properly handled by using this particular coding. So when you are using this particular statement, the indentation is really important. So here you can see the indentation is provided differently within different locations. So based on the indentation, we are controlling the inner loop and outer loop. So just don't forget to provide proper indentation there, otherwise we will get an error message and that will not work properly. So this one is a simple method for doing our project. So just try to do it by yourself. I will show how this particular process that will be worked. So here I am providing the running process. Do you have permission to generate user ID and password? I don't have. If I don't have the permission, I will provide no there. Then name for login. So here I am providing the login detail, admin, and then admin. I provided that particular data within the login table, so that will automatically insert to the next process. So we provide the message valid user, that's ended. So we got the menu like this, 1 2 3 4 like that. We got the menu, and if you require to insert data, we can provide 1 there, enter your choice 1. So the user can insert the roll number, then name, then date of birth. So I am providing the date of birth like this, and then the next one is GUID. So I am providing 104 as the GUID, and then marks 489. That's the total marks that I am providing there. So we got the data within the dictionary, and we displayed the data from the data frame like this. So we inserted this particular data, and again we got the prompt, the menu that we again got, and then we can provide the search process. So if you need to provide the search process, we will provide to there, and the name to search. So we can provide any name there. So I am providing and for the display process. So here you can see the and that's searched from the table, that's I already inserted there. So that's displayed there. And if you need to display the graph, for that I can provide option 5 as the choice. So what will happen, that particular data that's displayed here. So like this we can easily display the data. So marks of different students, that's displayed here like this. So this is the process of doing a project simply. So just try to solve the coding by yourself, and if you are doubted, you can ask me. There is no problem for asking your doubts. So just try to solve it by yourself. This one is a simple coding. Just try to do your project by yourself. Thank you.